This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, guys, I think we can start. Okay, so this is one classification algorithm, the very first classification algorithm. Why we call it regression, although it's a classification algorithm? Because the thing is, based on classification, we can predict something to what class a particular data set is belonging. So that's why it is called as logistic regression. Uh, so let me walk through this slide. Okay. So basically, this was something we have discussed in the linear regression. If you see, are we all clear with this? This was size and weight, and this was between we can say, and with this line we can do a lot of things. Like, see, this is one term r square. This is one parameter that is very popular in statistics. See, one of the software that can tell you about the how these two variables are related, like weight and size, can be determined with the help of R square. Although we haven't seen this thing on the Python, because this thing is already there with the model fitting. But if you do the same thing on other softwares like R, so you can also find this particular thing, which can tell you the relationship between size and weight, how strongly they are correlated. Okay, so this is one thing. And always remember, the value of R square lies between 0 to 1. One is they have a very strong correlation. See, R square is something. R is another software, as capital R is another software. It's a counterpart of Python. Python does not gives you how the two you can say variables are correlated, but it will easily tell you the how the model is being fitted. Okay, now this is yeah, and the p-value determines if the r square is statistically significant. So this is another kind of, we are just involving statistics in it. Okay, now with the p square, with the p-value, we can use a line to predict the size given weight. So we can predict size with the weight with this particular line. So this is called as regression line. Okay, this we have already seen. Now let's say if there is this particular line, so we can, based on this weight, we can predict the size. Okay, so this is what we do. So plain old linear regression is a form of machine learning. Multiple linear regression, so we can use so many you can say variables together, like weight, blood volume, that is also predicting the size. So basically more than two independent variable, more than one independent variable. Okay, again this predict the size given volume and blood volume and the weight. We can predict the size. It can be the size of the cell, it can be the size of a particular human. Okay, so basically it is representing the size of the cell. So P is actually one parameter which will tell you whether you have to reject the null hypothesis or accept the null hypothesis. This is something a little bit of the statistics, but we will overlook it in Python. But it is like whenever you do the computation in R, people are actually considering it. Are you getting my point? With R, they are considering it, but not with the Python. That is what the difference is. So this is something like more than two variables, like weight. So now this is a normal regression. This is a multiple linear regression. Okay. Are we clear with both the models? First of all, Okay. Now let's say this thing. So basically what they are saying that over here there are two values which is determining the size. There is only weight which is determining the size. Now this is a little revision of the linear regression, multiple and the simple. Now let's talk about logistic regression. Now let's say logistic regression is similar to linear regression, except the data set will be something like this. So you can see we have two output. The output is binary. Either we have obese and not obese. So this is actually with this is an experiment which this slide has conducted to a mouse category. Like they are actually categorizing two categories of the mouse. One is called as obese, another is called as not obese. Are we clear with this part? Okay. Now the thing is, so logistic regression predicts whether something is true or false, instead predicting something like continuous like size. So size was continuous. Over here we have the binary output. If it is true or if it is false. Okay. The mice are obese and these are mice are not obese. So instead of fitting a line to the logistic regression fits an S-shaped logistic function. The name of this function is also called a sigmoidal function. Are we clear with this part? The name of this function that you see which fits this particular output is also called a sigmoidal function. That is the another name of the same. Okay. Now let's say, so the curve goes from 0 to 1. So basically two output. False for 0, not obese, and true for obese. And that means that the curve tells you the probability that the mouse is obese based on its weight, isn't it? So let's say if this is a mouse, this is a mice over here, this is a weight. So if the weight is high, so practically it should be obese based on the prediction, as you can say over here. Yes or no? And what about this? If we weight an intermediate mouse, like somewhat over here, okay. So what about this one? So that then there is only a 50% chance that the mouse is obese. So basically, lastly, there is a small probability that light mouse is obese. Are we clear what we have discussed? That two things? Yes, it's not obese. Perfect. This is something like 50% chance. This output if you is not obese. Okay. Now let us see some output. Let us see some output. Like see what we generally said some threshold. So what is that threshold? For example, if the probability a mouse is obese is 50%, then we classify it as obese, otherwise we'll classify it as not obese. Are you getting my point? So just like linear regression, we can make simple models. Obesity is predicted by weight, but the output of obesity is 2. Like it can be like either it can be like you can say obese or not obese. So two categories. So that's why the binary output. So, or more complicated models will be obesity is predicted by weight and the genotype. So basically, obesity is determined by two factors, weight and the genotype. Genotype is basically what kind of genetic structure they have. So it's one of the slides I have taken from the biostats. Now, also it can be like obesity is predicted by weight, genotype, and age. Okay, so basically, logistic regression is not between one dependent and one independent variable. It is also dependent on one dependent and many independent variable. Okay, so that model you can also apply to that. I hope are we all clear with this? So more complicated model, something like this, it is not possible. Astrological sign. So we can also test to see if each variable is useful for predicting the obesity. There are some tests versus this, like so. Instead, we just to see if a variable effects on the prediction is significantly from different from the zero. If not, the variable is not helping the prediction. Are you getting my point? Like the last part? Perfect. So this is totally useless because we cannot predict anything based on the astrological sign. Okay, so actually we should leave this out. So logistic regression ability to provide probability and classify new sample using continuous and discrete measurement make it a popular machine learning model. Like let's say if your data set is lying somewhat over here, so we'll set one threshold over here. All right. Now if this particular let's say category of the mice is lying at somewhat like 25% in terms of probability, so it will be automatically will be classified as not obese. So that is what the making this model is really popular. So this is a threshold. So you can say one big difference between linear regression and the logistic regression is how the line fit to the data. Now can you tell me like how do we know like in the linear regression model how the line should fit to the data? How do I know this? Can you tell me the method name? Can you tell me the method name? No. Polynomial regression is one method. How do I know like a particular line is the best fitting line? Anyone? How do I know that a line is the best fitting line? Guys, anyone? Right? If you remember, there is a method which is called as ordinary least square method. I think I should make you recall. You can see this part. OLSM. This we have seen, right? So over here, extending the same logic. So how do I know what is the best sigmoidal curve? One big difference between linear regression and the logistic regression is how the line fit to the data. So with the linear regression, we use least square method, which is the ordinary least square method. Okay, like finding the another square sum of the square differences. And see, this is something R square, which is something additional topic. But over here, logistic regression does not use the same concept. Okay, it uses some different concept. So the concept that it uses is called as maximum likelihood. Are we clear with the term maximum likelihood? Are we clear with the term? Basically, the name of the term, like how the sigmoid should fit to the data, the name of the term is maximum likelihood. Now you should know this in terms of as an example, right? The name of the term, like for the linear regression, we got OLSM, and for logistic regression, we have maximum likelihood. Now, how does it work? You pick a probability scaled by weight of observing an obese mouse, just like this curve. Okay, and you see that to calculate the likelihood of observing a non-obese mouse that weighs this much. Are we clear with this two slides? What we have discussed? You have to be prompt. What about Suchna? Okay, and then calculate the likelihood of observing this mouse, and you do this for all the mice. And lastly, you multiply all the likelihood together. That's the likelihood of the data given this line. And then shift the line, calculate a new likelihood of the data. Are you getting my point? Initially, just like your OLSM, we were fitting the line and we were shifting the line. Similarly, over here, we are actually calculating the likelihood of this mice to be obese based on shifting the position of the line. Now, actually, manually, we are not calculating it. While applying the model, the Python will do that. Are we all clear with this? This is ordered to enhance your conceptual knowledge. And then shift the line and calculate the likelihood again. And you can say, finally, the curve with the maximum likelihood is selected. So in summary, logistic regression can be used to classify samples, and it use different types of data like size or genotype to do the classification. And it can also be used to assess what variables are useful for classifying samples. Okay. Are we clear with the basic introduction of the logistic regression? Okay, perfect. Now let us see this thing into action. So first of all, I would like to make you all familiar with the data set that we are working. So the data set that we will be working today is social network ads. So this is a particular data set we will be using entirely for the all the classification problems. Now, if you I'll do this install later, let me let it be like this. So if you see guys, what I'm stating, if you see age estimated and the purchase column, so how the data set is working, this is something like this is a social network ad campaign. All of you know the term campaigns, like it's a social network ad campaign. Like you might have seen, like let's say if a company wants to collect some lead, they are doing some digital marketing, and how they are doing their digital marketing, they are actually running a campaign on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or any other social media platform. And let's say if a particular individual register on your link or your on your campaign, so the information as a lead will go to the organization who is running the campaign, and accordingly the lead can be converted into the business prospect. I hope that's clear to everyone. Now, this is a social media ad campaign which is run by a manager. Okay. Now, he was testing the campaign on two criteria. So, age and the estimated salary. So, he asked his employee that based on age and the estimated salary, you have to validate whether the product can be purchased or not. So, I can see there are classes I have. So, what are these two classes? One is purchase and another is not purchase. I hope that's clear to everyone. So what is purchased and what is not purchased? So can I say it's a classification problem, just like a logistic regression? Like output is either purchased or not purchased, just like OBs and not OBs. Yes or no? Zero for the not purchase, one for the purchase. Exactly. Are we clear with this part? Perfect. Guys. So what we are going to do, we are actually going to see how does this work. So I have the Google Colab with me. Not this text. Now, guys, if you remember the data uh, pre-processing step, so this is the code which I am from which I am going to take some code. Okay. So the thing is like this is a template I've taken. I know, I hope all of you know how to utilize a template. Guys, just give me 1 minute. Just give me a minute. Am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. So I'm going to utilize a template in the same way. Over here, I'm going to upload the file. Okay, now file has been uploaded. So can you tell me what is my dependent and what is my independent variable? What is my dependent and what is my independent variable? Yeah, age and the salary is independent and others are dependent. Purchase is dependent. Yeah, perfect. Now what we are going to do, we are going to import the libraries. Okay. The next thing is we are going to work with the data set. So this you can see from the pre-processing tool. I'm just taking this, but the name of the file is something like social network act. So I'll be changing the name. Are we all clear with this? Are we clear with this part? Okay. The next step is okay. It does not have any missing value, so this step you can skip. It does not have any categorical column, so this you can step you can skip. So this is the step that we will be taking. So what we will be doing, we will be splitting the data into the training and the test set. Okay. Uh, the observation was around like 400 entries. So guys, how should I make 100 entries to come? what should I do in order to make 100 entries go to testing data? What should be the split ratio? There are 400 entries, so just tell me what should I do so that 100 entries goes to the training testing data. 25%. Perfect. So 25% would be the answer. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. So okay, I am not testing it because it's quite obvious. Guys, does it require a feature scaling? Does it require a feature scaling? Okay. What do you think? Like we got two independent variables. Are they on the same ranges or on the different ranges? Are they on the same ranges or different? So does we require feature scaling? Okay, yes, we do require. So let's go to the feature scaling. Over here, I'm not referring to a specific columns. All are categorical, all are continuous. So this can be avoided. So the feature scaling is being done. So print x underscore test. Feature scaled values have been populated with 100 entries. I hope that's clear to everyone. I hope that's clear. Okay, now the next part is we are going to apply the training logistic regression model. So guys, we are going to apply this model on the training data or the testing data. Perfect. So from sklearn dot linear model underscore model, we are going to import logistic regression, and let's say the classifier, because it's a classification problem. Okay, the so in the regression problem I have taken this as regression. This I am taking as a classifier because it's a classification problem. It's a logistic regression random underscore state. Now what I have taken the random underscore state for splitting, I've taken one, so I'll be taking the same for over here. Okay, and classifier dot fit, and I want to fit that on x underscore train. So as you said, training data. Okay, are we all clear with this? So the model is being fitted. Are we clear with this part? Okay, the next step is, let us predict some salary. Okay, let's say print um, classifier dot predict. um, Guys, if you remember sc dot transform method, We have used that how to write the absolute value if you have done the standardization. Now, guys, can you tell me some age value and some salary value? Just tell me some age out of what we have seen over there. Okay, let's say 19 years and 19 days. So it will not purchase the product based on the logistic regression model. I hope are we clear with this part? Are we clear with this part? Okay, what about Suchna? Okay, now the next thing is uh, we can also compare it with the actual values. Like let's say y underscore pred is equal to classifier dot predict and utilizing let's say x underscore test because we predict the result over here. Let's say print. See, I'm going to write a really great code, so it will actually populate the comparison between the actual and the predicted values. So np dot concatenate. Can you tell me why do we use concatenate? NP stands for the numpy. Okay, concatenate to combine. Okay, so I'm going to combine two matrices, two array of. Okay, mm, so y underscore friend dot reshape length of y underscore friend comma one comma y underscore test dot reshape. Now this y underscore test dot reshape, y underscore test is the actual value of not per or purchase column. So this is the predicted value with the model. This is the actual value. So what I'm going to do, length of the uh, y underscore test comma one. Okay, so see the result. So guys, this is the first thing. This is something related to the predicted value based on the model. This is the actual value. So the first is saying that prediction is not purchase and the actual is not purchase. Prediction is not purchase, actual is not purchase. Prediction is purchase, actual is purchase. Over here we have this as the wrong prediction. Prediction is saying that I should purchase it, but actually it is not purchase. Similarly, we can find this also as the wrong prediction, and we can find this as a wrong prediction. Are we clear with the output? Are we clear with the output? That is what the it will happen, right? If your model is 100% prediction, it's not possible in real-time scenario. There will be always some incorrect prediction with the model. It's only possible in ideal situations. But with the real-time data, this problem is always going to happen. Are you getting my point? Like, okay. So how to know like what is the accuracy of my model? So there is a thing which is called as confusion. See, this is one thing you cannot know it like this. Like there always will be some inaccuracy in your model. But how to know how much accurate is your model will be uptaken by a term which is called as confusion matrix. Now let me show you this thing. Acceptable values, there is not any acceptable value, but you can see the percentage of prediction, like how much accurate is your model is. I hope that's clear. Yeah, this is a good figure. So guys, you can see it over here. Now you can say this is a prediction is no and the actual is no. So can I say the prediction is no and the actual is no? It's a correct prediction. Prediction is no and actually is no. It just like prediction is not purchase, actually is not purchasing. So can I say it's a correct prediction? So this is called as true negative. The name of the term is called as true negative. Are we clear with this? TN stands for the true negative. Over here you see this is prediction is purchase and actually it is purchasing. So it is called as true positive. This is true negative, this is true positive. Are we clear with this part? And this is like prediction is yes, it will purchase, and actually it is not purchasing. So can I say it's a incorrect prediction? I'll tell you. We will be calculating this with the help of confusion matrix. I'll be just populating this after this coding example, just like this step. After this step, we'll be populating one confusion matrix. Okay, Vicky, Vicky, are we clear with this? No, no, with this topic only we will be learning. Now, guys, this is a incorrect prediction because prediction is saying no and actually it is yes. That's a kind of a false negative. See, prediction is no and the actual is yes. So this is called as false negative. Okay, are we clear with the term? Okay, now you can see actually the accuracy of this model. There is a term which is called as accuracy score, which is actually equated to true negative plus true positive divided by the sum of true positive plus negative plus false positive plus false negative. Okay, times 100. That is what the accuracy score is all about. Are we clear with the term? Like, if you want to calculate the accuracy, so you will actually add these two terms and you will divide it by the sum of all into 100. Okay, like this is something like will tell you how much accurate is your model is. So this is 50 plus 100 is, if you see 50 plus 100, 50 plus 100 is 150 divided by the sum of everything. So which is 165. Okay, now this should be multiplied by 100. Incorrect brackets I've used actually. Just a second. My OneNote is all of a sudden start stopping. Just let me close this once and restart this. So this is the accuracy of this model. Okay, 90.9%. The denom is the sample value, test data value, right? No, it's only a simple concept. Like based on the incorrect prediction, based on the classification, we are actually calculating like how much is the correct prediction, how much is the incorrect prediction. I hope are we clear what we have discussed over here, guys? Are we okay? Now let us calculate the confusion matrix. So again, the library is the scikit-learn. So from sklearn dot matrix, I'll be importing confusion matrix, comma accuracy score. Okay, spelling of the accuracy is incorrect. Okay, and these two things. Let's say CM stands for the confusion matrix, and confusion matrix I'll be applying to these two terms: y underscore test, comma y underscore pred, and printing the CM, which is the confusion matrix, and accuracy score also of the y underscore test, comma y underscore pred. So this is the confusion matrix, just like this. Okay, so the model accuracy is 83%. So not a good accuracy, but it's great. Not bad actually. 80%, more than 80% is a good accuracy. Are we clear with this? So this is something about logistic regression. So guys, are we clear with this? Any doubts, any confusion? What about Suchna? Are we clear with this? Okay, this is something related to the logistic regression. And guys, one more thing, like let's say, I also wanted to tell you about one thing. Now let's say you want to learn an official documentation about logistic regression. So this is the official documentation of this scikit-learn library. Now of the scikit-learn official documentation, now this is they have given the complete code of the logistic regression. You can see examples. All the models are over here already. Like since this is very important for you can say a kind of vivid algorithms. So what do I mean by vivid algorithms? Like we will be majorly will be focused on the clustering, classification, and the regression algorithms. Okay, so this library is very popular in this. Now let's say if I go to the classification. So what are the types of classification we have? So we have logistic regression model. So this is these are some example of the clustering problems like hierarchical clustering and agglomerative clustering. Okay, now I think they might be have given some example of the logistic regression also. Mm, So everything is given, like how to connect with the different APIs, more what we have in more. Tutorials are also there. This is an official documentation. And trust me, they have given it really great example. So they have given you the example of the supervised and the unsupervised machine learning. So what we are doing right now is the supervised machine learning. What do I mean by supervised machine learning? It is something which is related to like the label of the, like we already know about how the model is you can say how the model is we already know the knowledge of the data set. So that is what do I mean by supervised. Supervised is something which is related to we know the labeling of the data. Unsupervised, we do not know any information about the data, so that is the unsupervised. Okay. Now guys, you can see vivid kind of model, like let's say in the previous session we discussed something on the decision tree. So you can refer to this particular thing, like this is the decision split boundary. And if you remember that we have already seen how the, like the boundary is being fitted, advantages and disadvantages, classification. So this is one thing that we will be learning in the subsequent lecture. Actually we have already seen the regression. This is a kind of a classification problem. So next we have classification. So decision tree classifier is there. How the plot looks like. This is the leaf node. This is the sorry, this is the root node. This is the leaf node. Okay, and everything is given. Now this is they have done the classification of a very famous data set, which is called as iris data set. You might have heard about iris data set. It's a very popular data set in machine learning. Okay, now one more thing. uh, See, this is regression again. So this is one thing, like before learning any library, you can all refer to the scikit-learn official documentation, because it's a very detailed description of everything. You'll find it. Please bookmark this link, which I've just shared you on the chat box. I hope are we all clear with this? Okay. One more thing which I also wanted to show. See, if you want to make your data science portfolio, it is like nothing but data science profile. So what you can do exactly, there is another website which you can definitely refer to. It is called as Kaggle. Now let's say I have shown you one data set related to logistic regression. How does the logistic regression work? I'm not too good at it, like the Kaggle. I have not done competition, but actually this has been considered. Now let's say this is one thing. Now what are the models you can refer to? Like let's say this is Titanic would be too much. Let's say logistic cancer cell prediction. Now this is a real-time data. This is also was a competition. Now let us download the data. So just a second. The data is being downloaded. Let us zip it at desktop. I already did that. this is the data, I guess. Okay, guys, you can see this is a data. I think diagnosis. Okay. Now, guys, this is how you have to play with this data. Now, what you can do, this is the diagnosis of the breast cancer. Now, whether it is malign or malignant, like cancerous, or benign, non-cancerous. That is what the M and D stands for. Now, this is the prediction. This is the diagnosis. So, what you can do, you can cut off this particular cell, cut off the cell, and just place it at the end. Okay, now you got this predictor over here, and all the columns are your independent columns. Okay, all the everything. You can skip this, delete. See, while importing the data, you can skip this particular file. Why the this is ID, so it does not need to do anything with the prediction whether the data set is going to be benign or malignant. Okay, are you getting my point? Like this particular column you have to skip. Just remember the example of the this one, that position and the level one. We actually skip the position. Does not make sense. So from here, from B column to almost like this column, AE column, you have to kindly store this value on this what you can say, um, X, and the last column should be stored on Y. All right, are we all clear? So what is your task? This is a data set which I am saving. What is your task? What do you have to do? You have to do the logistic regression of this data set. Will you do that? Take it as a challenge. Now you can see this is the same data set which as a competition 4 years ago was there in the Kaggle. And right now, if you use this template, it won't be an issue for you. I hope that's clear to everyone. Only you have to play with this and this part. Okay. This is how this template will work, right? Make sense? Make sense? Okay. So this is the homework, right? Any doubts, any confusion? Let me stop the recording.